Hey, buenos dias, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasó, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, John's Moto Garage. About 2 years ago to this day, I boarded an airplane and flew a couple thousand miles or maybe a couple hundred miles from Phoenix, Arizona to Austin, Texas. And I spent nearly $20,000 on my quote-unquote dream motorcycle. Today, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about that story, how I got to that point, how it ended, and how sometimes, even though we set out with something and hope to accomplish something awesome, sometimes we will fail, and at the end of the day, it's all right to fail and screw up, and we just got to learn from those mistakes. So here's that story. One take Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? No, today's Saturday. One take Saturday. All right, let's jump into it. So, oh man, welcome to the channel. If you're new, thanks for tuning in. For those who've been here a long time, I really do appreciate the support. As many of you know by now, I've been on an extended work trip out of state, and so I haven't been posting as much content as of late. Due to that, I haven't been riding motorcycles at all, and I find myself with super limited time to do anything other than work, eat, drink, and sleep. And so I decided today I'm just gonna do a one take video. It is what it is. And I got a reminder on my phone today that 2 years ago today is when I flew out to Austin, Texas. So if you've been following me for a while, you probably have heard this story, but if not, then here's a quick recap. So shortly after I started this YouTube channel, I embarked on learning wheelies on a motorcycle. I've ridden motorcycles since I was 18, on and off, but I had never actually spent time practicing, and learning wheelies was one of the tricks on my bucket list. After I learned on the Honda Grom, I started watching some of the Unknown Industries riders ripping wheelies, and I was absolutely blown away by it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I thought, dude, I want to buy a Harley and learn wheelies on a Harley. Next thing I know, I bought a 2013 Harley Davidson Street Bob, and I was messing around on that. Not super good, but I was starting to get the front wheel up in the air. And the more I dived into that rabbit hole, which is Instagram, where you see all these different clips, and of course, if you look at like one Dyna video, it's gonna feed you another one and another one and another one. And next thing I know, I'm watching all these videos, and I was really honing in on the Lowrider S. That's the fxdls, what in my mind was the cream of the crop when it came to Dynas at the time. The 110 or some 117 cubic inch V twin. They only had that bike available from 2016 to 2017, and just a gnarly motorcycle. And I thought, dude, that's the bike, man. If I can get that bike, I'll be able to really dial in my skills. It's a super unique bike. There aren't a ton out there. It'll help blow up the channel, or help boost the channel. It'll be good content. So in my mind, after spending quite a bit of time, decent amount of time researching and kind of deciding that this was the bike, I started actually looking into buying one. Now, here's the thing with this bike. It's not a cheap bike. Like I'd say like at the low end, you can maybe get one for 10 to 12 if it's got a crap ton of miles or a salvage title, which I usually try to ignore. Or these things go up to like $25,000 to $30,000, just ridiculous. And I remember when I first started seeing them, I thought, dude, there's no way I'm gonna spend 15,000 bucks on a bike like this, let alone 20, 25,000. But of course, I kept doing the research, and I really built it up. I hyped it up in my mind, and I started to justify the idea with the fact that it'll provide content for the channel. I'll be able to rip wheelies on it, like all that nonsense. So eventually got to a point where I found one in Austin, Texas, and it was on the Instagram Dyna Trader page, and it was from some weeks back, or maybe even like a month plus back. But I remember I was sitting there scrolling late at night, and I hit the dude up. Thornicus Maxicus, I think is the dude's name, or Thorn, basically, real cool dude. I hit him up, and he replied back that night. He's like, yeah, bike's still available. And I think by the morning time, I basically said, yo, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna pick it up. He had sent me additional pictures, and everything seemed legit. The dude had receipts of pretty much everything he had done, and the bike was built. I forget everything off the top of my head, but it had chain conversion kit, had the upgraded Olin suspension, had upgraded gold fork tubes and suspension in the front. It had the mid controls upgraded, shoot cams, exhaust, bars, fairing, the two Saddleman step-up seat, the full fender. I mean, anything and everything that most people are looking for with this bike, it had it already. And the price, I think he was asking like 20K or something, but we ended up agreeing on 18,500 bucks. Now, even right now, saying that out loud, that just sounds like such an exorbitant, oh my gosh, exorbitant amount of money. Like way too much money for me to be spending on a motorcycle in the context of who I am, wife, kids, working, And the fact that I planned on getting it to do wheelies, like, dude, come on, bro. Like, anybody should be able to look at that and say, dude, bad idea, bad idea. But for some reason in my mind, I thought, dude, this is a good idea, John. You should do it, bro. And it wasn't so much that I thought I'd buy it and be like happy because I had this materialistic, you know, object per se, but I thought, you know, this could lead to many opportunities. And as many of you know, I went and bought the bike and I flew out to Austin, bought it. I didn't end up doing very many videos on that whole road trip. I should have. I have a lot of content still that I haven't used. But anyway, I went out, bought the bike, met up with Thorne, super cool dude. The bike was as advertised, super rad bike. Looking back, I'm like, dude, I flew all the way out to Austin just based off video, you know, but it's not the first time that's happened. And gave him the cash, $18,500 cold hard cash. And I rode the bike back. I did 1,000 miles in under 24 hours. And while I was out in Austin, I met up with Connor fxdb. Yeah, I met up with Connor fxdb, super rad fellow. And we did a little video or two. But yeah, I rode back. I freaking hit a deer on my way home. Did a video about that. Hit a dang deer in the middle of the night. Luckily, didn't lay the bike down, didn't kill myself. And I made it back in under 24 hours. And after I got back with the bike, I was like, dude, what are you gonna do with this, bro? I mean, this thing was pushing like, I don't know, 115 plus horsepower. It was just a ridiculously gnarly bike. I had nearly 20,000 bucks dumped into this thing, just like as it sat. And I was like, what am I gonna do with this, man? Like, I couldn't bring myself to go out and like beat the crap out of it. I just couldn't do it. Additionally, I had paid off a lien, and so I wasn't able to get the title right away. I was gonna wait for the title in the mail, like all that stuff as well. So I couldn't go register it quite yet, but I got it insured, of course, before I even hit the road. And anyway, I still had my other Dyna, so I was still messing around on the other Dyna, and I just could not get myself to go out and beat the crap out of this bike. I mean, I did a couple wheelies, power wheelies, nothing crazy, but I never went out and sessioned it. Because in the back of my mind, I knew, I was like, dude, if you crash this thing, and not to mention, it was so freaking powerful. Again, it would be like going out and trying to learn how to drive in a Corvette, you know, like you see the videos of all the dudes destroying those bikes. That would have been me on this $20,000 motorcycle that I had no business riding. And so I just remember as the months went on, this grandiose plan I had of buying this rad bike and doing a bunch of cool content with it and learning to like rip gnarly wheelies like the Instagram dudes, I came to realize, like, bro, that was probably not the smartest decision you could have made. Spending so much money on it and then trying to ride the crap out of it. And no, it was not a smart decision. So in the end, I made some good content with the bike. It was a fan favorite. A lot of people love that bike. A lot of people discovered my channel because of that motorcycle. So I can't really put a value on that specifically. I had fun on that motorcycle. It was an experience that I'll remember forever. The night, you know, the time I flew out to freaking Austin, met up with Thorne, super rad dude, and bought this bike and rode it back. Like all of that, I can't discount. That was it was an experience for sure. But truth be told, it kind of ate away at me during the time that I had the bike, and I just kept thinking, dude, I gotta get rid of it. And there was a moment there where I kind of felt stuck, because in my mind I said, bro, the smart decision is sell it, but you got all these people digging it on the channel, and so it was like this kind of tug of war, you know? And yeah, it ate away at me for a little bit. I ended up registering the bike, and I kept going back and forth, keep it, sell it, keep it, sell it. And I kept it for, I think like 6, 7, 8 months maybe. And it just finally got to the point where I was like, dude, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense from so many different positions to have that motorcycle. And so I ended up selling it. I sold it for $17,500. And so when you factor in everything, like I took a hit on the motorcycle for sure, between registration and just travel and all that, but still it was very rad. It was a cool motorcycle, but that was one of those, like, no matter how I look at it, that was a failure in terms of what I planned on getting out of that. But at the end of the day, it was definitely a learning experience. And so I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch a lot of people who have kind of, you know, ended up succeeding, quote unquote, in life. And it's easy to watch a video of somebody who's already quote unquote made it, and for them to say, yo, you gotta follow your dream, follow your passion, and from that, you know, what do they say? You never work a day in your life if you do what you love. Or for some that ends up being the case, but the reality is we are going to fail on some of these ventures, you know, or whatever you want to call them. Anyway, so there's an example. That was a failure, like straight up failure. And I can admit it, acknowledge it, I recognize it, and I learned from it. So as long as you learn from those failures, it's cool, it's gonna happen, and hopefully you just don't turn around and make the same mistake over and over again. So that was it. 2 years ago from today, I flew out to Texas to buy a nearly $20,000 Harley Davidson Lowrider S. And while it was an awesome motorcycle, I had no business having a bike that gnarly or that expensive. And after about 6-7 months, I realized, dude, that was, you know, that was a stupid decision for me in light of everything that I was going to do with my life. So there you have it, you guys. One take Saturday, John's Moto Garage. Drop a comment below. What is a failure, or what's something that you did where you were hoping for something awesome and it just did not pan out the way you're hoping it would? Drop a comment below and let me know. Let me know if you were around back when I had that Lowrider S, and what did you think of the motorcycle? Stay tuned, I will be posting more videos, so yeah. Like and subscribe if you dig it, appreciate all support. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Adios, hasta luego. Nos vemos.